Relationship advice. Our first story is titled, "My wife cheated on me with my dad. All the legal stuff is nearing an end. It's all hitting me now. Now what?" So long story short, my wife cheated on me and had an affair with my dad. I had irrefutable proof and they both admitted to it. I am in the process of finalizing the divorce and everything on that end has been very procedural. I've been able to keep going by being very task-oriented and focusing on the immediate to-do list, but that will soon all be over. I know I'll need therapy and counseling, but I guess I'm on here seeing if there is any support or anyone who may have any insight into this. It all just sucks. My wife is the only girl I has ever seriously dated. My dad raised me as a single father and I'm an only child, and now I don't think I can ever talk to him again. Sorry, this isn't very coherent. I hope no one has been through this, but if you have, what's next? Now let's read the top advice. There's a special place in hell reserved for both of them. Certainly, what freaking pieces of ish they are. They would be dead to me. Yes. Without murderous thoughts or intentions, declaring some people dead and going through the mourning process has helped me tremendously in keeping some formerly close sociopaths at a safe distance emotionally. No more exposure to manipulation. How dreadful. Betrayal upon betrayal. Losses to grieve upon losses. I recommend finding a therapist that specializes in grief and perhaps trauma, PTSD. Build a good support network. You can get through this. PTSD? I'm not disagreeing, but maybe I have a misunderstanding of what PTSD is. I'll definitely consider it. I'm not making a diagnosis by any stretch. Infidelity-related PTSD is fairly common among betrayed people. So, your father is aware that he permanently destroyed his relationship with you. Is he even trying to salvage it? I don't know. He speaks as if it was a mistake that he should have forgiveness for. I don't plan on speaking to him ever again. A mistake that he should have forgiveness for. He ruined your marriage and caused a divorce. What was his explanation for keeping this up? Is he just delusional right now, or does he honestly think it is not a big deal? Has he tried contacting you and making amends? Did you catch them, or did they confess? If you caught them, did you ask them if they were ever going to tell you? I believe his thought process is, I was lonely and didn't mean for it to get like this, but I know he is only sorry because he was caught. I'm certain he thinks I'll forgive him and we'll move on. We won't. Now for the second story. I, 18 female, found out my mom, 34, is cheating on my dad, 48, with one of my friends, 19 female. Basically, parents have been having issues. It's been on and off for years. I thought this was normal behavior until I moved out for a couple months due to arguments being so frequent that I wouldn't spend half an hour in the house without hearing them. Things started to become better last year. Dad had got a new job. Mom had too. Anyway, I started bringing a friend over more and more as it seemed to avoid conflict while they were there. My mom and dad don't argue with others in the room, unless it's me. Now, my friend had been staying around basically every day. We have a big house. Half of the bedrooms are always empty. She stayed in one. She rarely sleeps, insomnia, so she used to go downstairs and watch TV. My dad said it was strange since she has a big TV in her room, but she said she preferred company. Anyway, one night I come down and I hear heavy breathing. I've got a fear of someone breaking in, so I turned on the light quickly and shouted, and my mom looked extremely embarrassed and told me Dad and her were making up. I was disgusted but didn't say anything. I just went upstairs. This happened for a bunch of nights and then suddenly stopped. I was glad for that, thinking they had been doing it in their room. Anyway, last night I walked to my friend's room because I couldn't sleep, and then I hear her giggling. The door is slightly open and I walk in and I see my mom naked, licking my friends. Well, you know. I ran out. I didn't know what to say. My mom came out and apologized. For some reason I asked about that first night and she said it's been going on for months. Dad doesn't know and Mom wants me to keep it a secret. My friend came over after and told me she loved my mom. I feel sick. I don't know what to do. I want to tell my dad, but I know he'll lose so much. As much as they argue, he does really try. I don't know how to support him if I tell him. I don't want him to lose anything he's worked for. Now for the top advice. I don't really have any advice, but no wonder your parents are messed up. Your mom was 16 and your dad was 30 when they had you. Your mom was definitely younger when they first met. Unless your mom's age is a typo. I think they met when she was 15. Yeah, that's messed up. Grown men aren't supposed to be impregnating minors. Not surprising your mom did this either. She probably feels like her youth was stolen from her. She's only 34. Still has plenty left in her. Your dad isn't holding on to something. Their relationship was over years ago. Tell your mom to tell your dad, or that you are going to. I spoke to my mom this morning. She's going to sit the family down for a talk in the evening. I'll post what happens after. First of all, your mom telling you to keep this from your dad was wrong. Parents should never put their kids in the middle of their issues, no matter what it is. To ask you to keep this from your father is, in essence, pitting you against your father. She needs to come clean with your dad. First of all, your dad needs to know this. Probably letting your mom know you won't be put in the middle like this is a good first step. Then letting her know if she won't tell your dad, you will definitely light a fire under her. Also, this might actually give your mom the chance to come out of the closet, so to speak, and start living her best life. This marriage is definitely over, and like all divorces, the parties will be dividing everything up. But I can assure you, your dad will be okay, in the end. Hell, given he'll be out of a marriage with a cheating spouse, he might be better than okay. A little edit from the poster. Edit, info I forgot to type because I'm stupid. Parents are Spanish. Pre-2009 age of consent was like 13. I agree it was weird, and predatory, but it wasn't now. I will address that later with my mom. I just didn't know what to do in that moment. I responded to what happened in not a great way. It must have been difficult for my mom to keep it as a secret, her orientation. I spoke to her in the morning and she's agreed to tell my father. I also told her that I'm supporting of her and that I'm 18. Now for the last story. My 22-year-old girlfriend just left me today for her abusive ex. I'm a 19-year-old guy who just got out of a very healthy relationship with my now ex-GF, who left me, her best friend, and her best friend's boyfriend in the dust for her abusive ex who she dated for 5 years. He emotionally messed her up and repeatedly belittled her. Her best friend who I live with now told me that I was the best boyfriend she'd ever had, and was the least toxic guy she'd ever seen my ex-GF with. She left this morning. She took her cat and all of her stuff from our apartment and didn't bother saying goodbye. We knew she was leaving because she said she was leaving to drive home for a few days. But the moment we all woke up this morning, we found a long message from her in our group chat basically telling all of us that she wanted to disappear for a bit and to not to contact her. She apologized over and over again for it, one apology per person who she left. There was a reference to her ex in there, and it hurts me to say that it's painfully obvious that she went back for him, despite being hurt by him. I'm pretty shaken up from it, and I'm still going through grief. She left us with very little money, but she said in her last message that any money wired to her account that's not hers, she will send back. But knowing her ex, he will attempt to take it. He stole her stimulus check and blew that on a new PC for his video games. I don't know what kind of answer I want for this, I just want to know why. We never had any arguments because we settled things well, but I noticed she was distant the last few days. I just want to hear what you guys think about this situation. Now for the top advice of this post. It's all too common a story. It is apparently very difficult to break away from an abusive ex. It has to do with self-esteem issues and gaslighting. I'm sorry for your pain, but not much you can do. I hope you are okay. Yeah, I'm okay. I just thought I would ask for some advice on how to cope. She knows that I am better than him, and the way she keeps coming back to him makes me feel like she has minor Stockholm Syndrome. You are probably right, but you can't help her if she doesn't want help. My guess is she will try to get away from him again at some point and you will have to decide whether to trust her again. Tough call. Yeah, I texted her and told her that I'm here if she needs me, but I can't guarantee I'll trust her fully again. I told her I won't date her until I know for sure that he's out of her life. You need to move on and be prepared to stay moved on if she calls you in tears in the middle of the night at some point in the future. I know you feel bad for her and want to help, but her behavior shows that resolving her issues is above your pay grade and remaining emotionally available to her would only enable her further. The problem is, I'd prefer to get hurt by her if that meant I get to see her again. Thanks for your advice, but I don't think I can move on. I'm sorry, I got caught up in the long-term ramifications of this and didn't consider that your entire life was turned upside down this morning. Today you just need to take care of yourself and get through this. I know it's a cliché, but things will get better eventually. I will tell you that getting AY out of her will almost certainly not bring the closure you are looking for. That is something that will take time and effort on your part. It is like a scab that you can put ointments and bandages on, but ultimately it won't heal until you stop picking at it. To get back to my original message, even though you can't move on now, try to promise yourself that once you do move on, you will stay moved on. Don't make the same mistake your ex made today. And that's the end of the video. Thank you for coming this far. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the content, and I'll catch you in the next on. Have a good day everyone.